You guys just send a request now.
Yeah. Turn it around. Mm-hmm. Did it turn around?
Yeah.
You guys are on.
Oh, there he is. We didn't claim to be professionals. Hi, everybody.
Hey. How's everybody doing?
Give everyone a minute before it gets started.
Good. 'Cause I need a minute. Oh, it's delayed, huh?
Hey, Jason.
Can you text her? I don't know if the shot's right.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to our 5th Instagram Live that we're doing. We have on today with us my dad, otherwise known as Katie's dad. We're also here with David, my and for those who are not familiar with Liberty, it's about 500 pieces of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay from the Sonoma Coast. And so I started in 2009, and so this is just like 10 years of LaRue, which is crazy. But here, yeah, today we have my dad with us, and behind the camera is my mom and Aunt Lou, it looked like, for a second. So we have, so we have all the wines we're tasting today. We're tasting the 2013, 2014, and 2015 Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir. And we have all those wines available on the website, and we are doing 1 cent shipping right now. So feel free to check it out on our website. There's a link in our profile. So yeah, let's get to it. So my dad is at the house where I grew up in the Central Valley of California, in Topeka, and he is there on his walk, and he's barbecuing up a few things for us to at least enjoy looking at. Maybe he can sell some. I told the guy at the winery that you would.
They travel well. Those the pork bellies travel really well.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us about what you have on the barbecue, Dad.
So I have pork belly from Scott Long, which is The Long Ranch on the Instagram, if you'd like to follow him. This pork belly was conceived of Katie's request for one of the barbecues that we were doing, or release parties, that she wanted to do pork belly. And I had never done pork belly before, so she was challenging me to do something I wasn't comfortable with. So we proceeded on. We did about 3 tries at it before we finally come up with this one with it smoked for about 4.5 hours in my smoker here, which I've got some in the smoker right now. If I can get it open. So there's 2 bellies in there right now. So it's pre-marinated with brown sugar and to rest overnight, and then hung for about 4.5 hours in the smoker, sliced, rested, and then put onto the grill with a honey and sea salt drizzled on top and turned until it's nice and caramelized on the grill here, and then sliced into slices, bite-sized slices, which you'll put in a container and put some finishing salt on it. Goes well with a 13 Sonoma Coast LaRue.
Yeah, so we have the 2013 in our glasses here. So Sonoma Coast blend. The three different wines we're tasting today are really interesting because ratios of the different vineyards. So the 2013 is 85% rice feedback. I see Helene is on with us today. Hi, Helene, from rice feedback. And 6% line and vineyard. So this one is the majority rice feedback, but it is completely different than the rice feedback single vineyard because of it is aged, so it's aged for 30 for 20 months and 30% new oak. But yeah, it's a really beautiful wine.
I love this wine. This particular vintage I had by the glass at the restaurant I used to work at for a very long time. The wine's great. It has these beautiful sour cherry notes that really kind of allow it to go with food really, really beautifully, but still having kind of some of that bright cherry there as well. I like there's a little bit of that kind of, I don't know what you wanted to call it, salinity, seashell on there too, but that earthiness, umami, yeah, that's really, really good. A little bit of earthiness comes out as well right now, and then just that nice acidity really kind of just carries the wine. This wine's aging really, really beautifully. I mean, I've been tasting this particular bottle for now 3 years, and every year it just gets better and better and better. And again, a wine you can drink by itself, or it goes amazing with so much types of food, from like barbecue to Asian. So you're pretty much good to go.
He's been able to have some of this wine since we first met.
Yes. I had the boyfriend deal.
Yeah. So my dad here, he has been a huge part of the crew since I very first started. So he has always been there for me to help out, whether it's coming to barbecue for the crew during harvest, or coming to help out at bottling, or letting me borrow his trailer for the years, the harvest season, so that I could haul around, picking bins. He's been there on many late night phone calls. Especially that night that I lost the load of side of the highway. That was not 2 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't know about that one.
Folks on the trailer because the strap came loose. But anyway, so one of Dad's favorite things that he gets to do every year is help bottling the magnums, which has been his job since the very beginning. But yeah, we hand bottle every magnum, which is really a great.
Very impressive. I had the luxury of doing that shop in place, and it is no joke. It is a ferocious pace, JB. I'm very impressed. I was there. Like I needed Ian to come in and kind of help me out a little bit. It was kind of not a job. That job is secure for you for a very long time, my friend.
You'll have to help me next year.
Yes, I think that's a good compromise.
Good way to
Yeah.
So yeah, we have. So next we'd like to chat about Dad, about how did hashtag Katie's Dad get started? Because it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. We were doing a West of West way back in the beginning. I still had a flip phone, so all this stuff is way too new for me. Even what we're doing today is crazy. We went to breakfast that next morning, and Cinnamon and Katie were sitting across the table from me, and they were giggling. And what the heck? They were giggling at my flip phone, thinking it was funny. And I didn't realize that they were giggling because I had, on my name tag, I had put Katie's Dad. And everybody started hashtagging Katie's Dad. Well, I had no idea what that meant. And so they proceeded to explain it to me. And 6 months later, I got an iPhone, which was way beyond my capacity, and learned through it. Hashtag Katie's Dad, and you can see 7,000 followers later. It's insane. It's a work, but it's a lot of fun. And so now I put hashtag Katie's dad, and everybody gets a kick out of that and proceeds to follow. So it's been fun. It's been great.
Nice.
I feel like the best ideas that we get come after a wine event, and that following morning is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Drinking micheladas, talking about hashtag Katie.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to mention as well, if anybody has any questions throughout the tasting, feel free to ask, especially if you have questions for Dad about barbecue or walnut or frozen. But next we have the 2014. And what else do you have on the barbecue there, Dad?
So we have a mild Italian and a smoked Hawaiian, also from Scott Long.
Of sausage, right? You're talking about sausage?
Sausages, yes. Yeah. So these sausages here pair well with the 14. We have actually tasted through these as a family, and they pair well with Katie's wines. Also coming from Scott Long Ranch, or the Long Ranch, if you'll go to that. He has a local store. You can buy things there. It's a neat little place. Scott's a buddy of mine I went to school with years ago, and he has this pig operation. Get whatever you would like there.
Yeah, he raises pigs, and it's really been cool how really come together during this time supporting local folks and getting their stuff locally.
And now he's actually in that store. He's carrying steaks and chickens.
Oh,
so
wow. Cool.
He is actually paired up with a beef producer, chicken producer,
cool.
And they're doing other things in there. So you can go there. Not a lot of people there. You get in, you get out. You don't have to wait in line.
Yeah, that's nice.
A lot of people support the local business.
And one of the things you mentioned was when we do our taste testing, is one of my favorite, has become one of our favorite things to do. We go to Tahoe every summer, and we like to, during that time, we'll be getting ready for my annual out at the Emmeline and we're hoping we're able to do it this year in August. But what we do is we bring wines that we're pouring that year and a whole bunch of different sausages, different, like Dad said, we had many iterations of the pork belly before we found one that really well. But it's always really fun, and my whole family gets involved, and it's really so in our glass is the 2014, and the 14 is the first year that I started working with a Thorn Ridge vineyard. So this is the first vintage that has those three vintages. So Rice Feedback, Thorn Ridge, and Emmeline are all in wine. It's 47% Rice Feedback, 32% Thorn Ridge, and 21% Emmeline Ann. So it really, I think, brings a totally different dynamic to the wine, which I think is really cool to see this year to year how it changes. What do you think about it?
How was the vintage in 14?
The vintage was actually in some ways really similar to 13, a little bit heavier crop, but not too much. But yeah, it was pretty even. We had it was 2 year vintages were based. Yeah. So the harvest dates for the rice feedback both years were September 3rd. So it's both the 13 and the 14 were harvested on the same day. Emmeline was a little bit earlier, but only by a few months. It got picked on August 31st in 14.
There is elegance to the 14. It's really, really beautiful. 14, now since we've been doing all of these kind of library tastings, I've really noticed how the 13, from the 13 rice feedback in general, it kind of has this restrained power to it. The fruit kind of is starting to dry out a little bit, but it's just so subtle and kind of honestly built. Still those really nice kind of like bright cherry notes that you get on all of them. but they're not as concentrated. They're just kind of really wispy and beautiful and elegant. It's really, really fantastic.
Yeah.
14 is becoming my like sleeper favorite vintage that you. Really exciting.
Thank you. So, Dad, why don't you tell us about a little bit about yourself and how you came about living on the Walnut Orchard and how long have you been
Well, we originally started out in trucking back in the day, and I was at my parents' place, and we decided that we needed a place of our own because in time we would have to have a place to raise our kids and actually run the trucks out of. So about 31 years ago, probably 32 years ago, we went looking for property, and we found this one in the San Joaquin River bottom, and had walnuts on it. It was an older house, but it was perfect. It had an upstairs where the girls could terrorize it, and we didn't have to worry about them. We knew they were up there somewhere because they were making noise. When they quit making noise, that's when we were worried. So,
you guys really did let us take over the upstairs. They even let us paint murals all over the walls in the bathroom.
Well, you kept them pretty busy back in the day, though, too, right?
Oh yeah, we would keep them busy in the orchard, doing chores around the house. We just didn't give them money. We made them earn it. We wanted them to get responsibility and be able to grow up and be what they are today. Aww. So this ranch, this 15-acre walnut ranch, gave us the ability to do that. The girls were, of course, Katie has 2 sisters, if nobody knows that. They're just as successful as Katie. So it wasn't me, it was their mother. But we instilled different work ethics in them, and how to be responsible and not give up. So with that, Katie has taken it. Of course, Amy and Courtney have done the same thing and ran with it, what we taught them, and they're successful. And we're proud of them.
I love that.
Thanks, Dad. Cheers.
So I'm kind of curious, what's your favorite Katie story? Like when she was younger?
Oh, wow. There's a lot of them. How much time do we have? My favorite is, we kind of hit on it, that we let the girls pretty much do whatever they wanted to the upstairs. There was paint coloring on the walls. There was one thing that we instilled in them, that they could do whatever they wanted as long as they got their work done, which was homework, got their grades up and kept them there. So we would never make them go to bed at night. We usually went to bed before they did. We just tell them, shut the lights out, which they didn't all the time do that. But I remember one time coming in, and at the time we had a low living room, and Katie had her papers spread all around. She was on the phone. Of course, then it was connected to the wall. But and the TV was going, and she was studying. And it was like, how in the heck do you do that? But she was a straight A student, and we just said, sweetheart, just turn the lights out when you go to bed.
I still do have habits of working late at night like that.
Yeah, she does.
Sometimes I'll just be like, I'm 10 o'clock.
I tell you, I wouldn't want to be in her class because she destroyed the curve.
And one other thing I wanted to chat about too, like the trees behind Dad, and he planted those the year that I left for college. And I had been asking him to plant cherry trees my whole life. And
that way she'd come back.
He planted them the year, he planted them so I would come back. And every year he makes sure I get some cherries from those trees, because I think it's awesome. Jade has a question about your famous Mai Tais.
Mai Tai.
My famous Mai Tais.
Oh.
Well, if you go to my Instagram and go back quite a ways, you can see my famous Mai Tais. It's a Hawaiian drink that we do when we go to Hawaii as a family. We always try and do things as a family. And if you've been Mai Tai'd by me, you've been Mai Tai'd.
Yes, it's not fun getting Mai Tai. It's fun in the moment. The next day is not as much fun.
So if you like it Mai Tai, that means you've had so many Mai Tai, don't remember some Mai Tai. Just remember drinking them and then waking up in the morning. Which has happened to all of us.
Yeah.
That is the Mai Tai, not the Mai Tai.
Oh, that's funny.
We make a mean Mai Tai, so.
Yeah, yeah.
He makes a mean margarita as well.
Yeah, that was actually one of the when we were college age, drinking age is when we really started making margaritas a lot. We convinced Dad to only do special ingredients. So he planted a lime tree, which he has there, and which is right by there.
Do they pair well with Pinot?
So he planted the lime tree, and we with Mai Tais, or not Mai Tais, he makes his margaritas all with all fresh ingredients, with limes and agave nectar and tequila. Simple. But we have the 2015 Coast in our glass now. And what else do you have on the grill there, Dad?
So I have vegetables. My wife and I, Jana, we went and picked the asparagus this morning right across the street. The onions came from a little farmer in Ripon, close by. Same with the zucchini. It's just kind of neat to be able to pick local fruit and vegetables to have for your dinner. They're fresh. It's to me, it's the only way to go. Living in this river bottom here is just the cat's meow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Growing up, we always had, especially asparagus season was we looked forward to it so much. We would go and neighbor there who Dad trades with, lets him go and pick asparagus anytime for the whole season long, which is awesome.
Cost me a bottle of wine or two.
Yeah, pretty nice trade there.
It was so crazy because
Ammons, you want Ammons? We trade wine for Ammons. A lot of fun.
Crazy growing up in Florida. I'm like, oh, I know what asparagus tastes like, and then I had asparagus with JB, and it tastes just like I've never had asparagus in my life. It was so good.
Yeah, if you're at the store and you can find the local California asparagus during this time of year, it definitely is pretty awesome. But yeah, so this 2015 Sonoma Coast is so this year in this vintage the yields were very, very low. So we only had we did not get the Emmeline vineyard at all. The yields were too low. I share the vineyard with one other winery, and we kind of have a handshake deal. If it's less than 2 tons, then I don't get any fruit. So I did not get fruit that year. It was only about a little less than 2 tons off of 3 acres. It was really, really low yielding year. So this is 56% rice spivak and 44% Thorn Ridge. So a little bit more than half rice spivak, and all 3 of the wines were aged for the same amount of time in barrel and about the same amount of new oaks. This one has a little bit less; it's 25% new oaks. So I think it's really interesting to taste and
the low yields come off right away. There's a much more concentration.
Mm-hmm.
The tannins, even though they're silky and soft and refined and delicate, they're still more pronounced compared to maybe the 13 they've had a chance to mellow out. And the 14's kind of a little bit more light and soft and elegant. This one has a little bit more power, but this one's going to age. Absolutely. It's like all your age really, really fantastic. But there is a little bit more of not just that sour cherry, but a hint of just like blueberry kind of mixed in there ever so slightly. And again, the classic earthiness and the wines, they're always really well balanced.
And some of the yields were lower, as I mentioned. And it was a pretty warm season. It was pretty early harvest for the 15. So we picked this mostly in August. So like the 3rd week of August for all 3 of these 2 vineyards. which is, yeah, so it's really concentrated, really intense.
But like in a very subtle way, because there's other producers that make very concentrated, much more fruit forward style wines. Not that that's a wrong, there's a different wine for everybody. That's the beauty for every person. So it's definitely more kind of restrained, but definitely more for you in your style.
Definitely. So, Dad, we have another question for you. So, what was your approach to raising daughters and really instilling confidence and encouraging all of us to be successful? And as Dad mentioned before, I do have 2 sisters. A lot of people are surprised. They think I'm an only child. I do have 2 sisters and my mom. So my older sister is a CPA and an owner of an accounting firm.
Amy.
Yeah. And my younger sister is a photographer and production manager at a photography studio. And my younger sister actually does all the photos for my website, and she was a part of designing my label, and is amazing. And so I wanted to know, like, what was your approach with having 3 very girls and really instilling that kind of confidence and success in all of us?
Well, for everybody to know, I was the only guy in the house. Even the dogs were girls. So
you have Jason in me
now. Now that they all have fiancés or married, it's an even score now. So I'm down. But anyways, we raised them to believe in themselves, and my wife and I, Jana, we believe in them, and we encourage them. We do whatever we can to help them be successful. I mean, we started out, Jan did a lot of homeschooling with them when they were younger, and did a good job of that. And it just, I mean, we were fortunate that they responded to what we were teaching them, and they took off.
Yeah, that's one thing, like, how everybody is definitely learning about homeschooling. My mom homeschooled us all. My mom homeschooled all 3 of us kids. I was homeschooled till 7th grade. My older sister was homeschooled till 8th grade, and Court, my younger sister, was homeschooled till like 3rd or 4th grade. So yes, thank you, Mom, for being so patient with us. Actually, my older sister and I, we get along really, really well now. We used to fight all the time. And Mom used to make one to work with Dad. Because Dad, you had your own hay hauling. And so Dad used to drive, we used to go to work with you one day at work for quite a long time.
Yes.
Take turns. So yeah, what was that like, having a little kids with you all day long while you're trying to work?
Well, I mean, a lot of it was on the road, so we didn't have to worry too much about if we were trying to do something with machinery and stuff, and we could corral you in the seat. So, and when you got older, we did. Amy drove hay squeeze for me for 2 years. You drove hay squeeze for me for a year. Courtney worked in the orchard with me. Matter of fact, Katie, another Katie moment was one year she didn't have a whole lot to do for the summer, so I had replants in the orchard. Katie took care of those replants. Every one of them lived. When I did it, only half of them lived. She really pays attention, or all the girls really pay attention to detail. For us setting this up, my youngest was paying attention to what the background was going to be like, and I was like, come on, we're just going to do a quick shot, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's harder to keep up with them now than when they were younger. Because when they were younger, we could keep them around. Now it's like 3 different directions.
Yep, you have to drive all over the place.
But it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it.
A lot of driving. But there is one thing, like when I first became part of the family, I did notice that there was a sense of we're gonna make this happen together, no matter what it is. Like kind of what your dad said in the beginning, like don't ever give up. He kind of said that we're gonna get through this together. And that was really special to be a part of.
Yeah, we're definitely happy to have our family with us, even if it's virtually right now. But yeah, does anybody have any other questions about?
Talk about aiming for a little bit.
Yeah.
Very
So Dad, also on the grill, we chatted a little bit about the veggies you got going on there, but I think that's pretty awesome that you do make accommodations when you're doing barbecues for anybody who's vegetarian.
Yeah, we always like to do a lot of combinations. It's, you know, the price is right on the vegetables a lot of times, so you put them on the grill. We use a balsamic vinegar and olive oil on the zucchini and the bell peppers and onions. We do just an olive oil, salt, sea salt on the asparagus, and because you get it every day, you know, you can go pick it and put it on the grill in the same sweet. It's the best.
I think I saw a question there about I think Jade asked how to Courtney feel about hashtag Katie's dad. And I always tell him if they would have taught him how to Instagram, they would have been hashtag Courtney's dad, hashtag Katie's dad.
Well, if you look at all of JD's posts, he finishes with hashtag Courtney's dad.
Yeah, I like to include them all. So,
yeah.
But each one is individual. They've understood it. We raised them that way. We know everything is not equal, and it just so happens that the oldest one we take care of the grandkids. The youngest one we help with different photography stuff, and with you we help the wine. So,
I think I'm the most fun.
Shots fired.
No comment.
The job of helping with wine includes wine,
right?
So it's automatically fun.
Jade wanted to get a shout out to Jana.
Hey everybody! Can I do a shout out?
Mama's behind the scenes.
Yes, not prepared for my Instagram debut today.
That's awesome. Cool. So we do want to mention again, we do have all the wines available for purchase on the website. There's a link in our bio, and we're doing free shipping right now. And yeah, next week we are going to take a break from our virtual tasting because we are going to be doing a virtual hangout with Mom and Dad and the family. Did you do that, Dad?
House party.
Yeah, we've been doing house parties.
Yes.
It's pretty fun.
Hopefully I won't just over the next day like I was last.
But yeah, next week we're going to do May 17th. And we are going to be tasting the Emmeline and Vineyard. Oh, I want to say hi to Jeff Schwartz. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jeff.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
I just saw you're on there. But yeah, so on the 17th, we're going to be talking about the Emmeline and Vineyard and tasting the 2017 Emmeline and. Do you have some of those bottles, Dad, ready for the tasting?
We'll look in the cellar and see.
I can ship some to you.
I figured that.
But thank you, everyone, for joining. It was awesome to see you. And, Dad, you're definitely sending us some
pork belly
in the mail, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.